welcome back to the Synergy Sanctum. My name is Justin. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here at the Synergy Sanctum, we specialize in all things related to Magic the Gathering, with a specific focus on deck building. So I aim to show you very quick deck text that'll show you all of the cards in the deck and how they work together to ultimately achieve the goals of that deck. If you're not already, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. And we also have a sister channel now, so head on over to Commander Coliseum and check out their content as well. And for today's deck tech, we have Valduk, Keeper of the Flame, an EDH budget-friendly build focused on loading out cheap equipment and equipping it all to Valduk so that you're making those 3/1 red elemental creature tokens with trample and haste. And this is a very special deck tech because this deck was made for my son Wade. Say hello, Wade.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going today?
Good.
Nice, nice. So what do you like about this deck?
I like that one. You can just put a bunch of equipment out and then play him and then put it all on him.
Ooh, nice. So what do you recommend people should do? What should they do to win?
Makes a bunch of elements.
And then you attack with them? Nice, nice. All right. Well, the current TCG market value of this deck is $56 to $78, and we are running 33 lands because we are pretty low to the ground. So 22 of those lands are mountains, and then 11 of those are non-basic. So as Wade said, our goal here is to get out a bunch of equipment and then to swing out with those elementals, and because they have trample, you are kind of like attacking your opponents pretty consistently, and you don't really care if these elementals die because they're going to die at the end step anyway. To start off for today, this is our first set of equipments. We're running Ring of Valkis, which is giving Valduk haste. Lots of kind of like tiny pump effects here with a lot of these. You'll notice that they are very low to the ground, so most of the equipments that we are running are 2 or less or even 3 or less, and the goal is to have the equip cost be low. So almost all of the equipments are equipping for 1 or 2 mana. And it doesn't really, we're not necessarily looking to attack with Valduk. We're just looking to get a bunch of equipments out and then equip those to Valduk so that we get a bunch of elemental tokens. So our second suite of equipments here, showstopper on the slide, is the Dark Steel Plate. If this gets equipped to Valduk with a hexproof, then we're kind of unstoppable and he's just sitting there chilling. Brass Knuckles is another good one because it's going to copy. Rogue's Gloves, very similar to Mask of Memory on the last slide. If we are going to attack, we're going to have draw. And then not necessarily an equipment, but Togo Goblin Weaponsmith, every time a land comes in, he makes an equipment. So he makes a rock, and that rock can be equipped to Valduk for 1, which is then going to make more elementals. And then our final suite of equipment here, a couple of synergized cards, especially from the new Final Fantasy set. So Firion Wild Rose Warrior says, whenever a non-token equipment you control enters, you get to create a token copy of it, except its a quick costs 2 less. So what this basically means is if we have Firion out and we're going to play a bunch of equipments, we're going to be able to equip all of those to Valduk for free. And then very similar with Gilgamesh, when it enters or attacks, it's going to get you the top 6 cards, and any of those equipments are going to come in. I believe we're running 28 equipments in the deck. And then Godo Bandit Lord, very similar. He can tutor for 1, but then his extra benefit here is that he can get you an additional combat step, which means that you're going to get additional tokens. So here's the token that we keep talking about, little elemental dog trample haste guy here, 3/1, and there's going to be payoffs for these tokens, right? So if we're going to be making these tokens every single turn, we want to have some kind of payoffs. So to start, redoubled Storm Scener here. If a token entered, for each token that entered, you get to create a copy of it, so you get to double up on the elementals. Brazen Cannonade does 2 damage to each opponent when they die. War Storm Surge is kind of just dealing the damage, so everyone that comes in at a minimum is going to do 3. We've got Westvale Abbey to sack 5 of them. Devilish Valet is so good in this deck because every single time a creature comes in, its power doubles, so he'll be a problem in itself. And then a couple of other payoffs with draw and then turning the tokens that'll go away into tokens that'll stay with Tooth and Claw. And then finally, we've got these 3/1s, but that's not enough for us. And what our goal is to be able to boost these 3/1s to get even more damage in. So every single one of these cards that are on the slide here are boosting the elementals. They are getting boosted in their power, which means that the trample is happening. Double strike with Berserker's Onslaught, and then other things like Torbrand, where it's doing 2 additional damage. Shared Animosity is really good here because they're going to get boosted for however many are out. So if there's 5 of them out, then each of them are getting +4 for every single other one that is there. And then, you know, it's all well and good if we try to win with Valduk, but we have to have some backup plans. So each of these on the slide, Krenko, Tin Street Kingpin, Kazul's Toll Collector, Fervent Champion, and Champion of the Flame, each of them are kind of doing similar things that Valduk would be doing. They're just not making the tokens. So this is where we would shift the strategy to just swinging out with one of these creatures, although Krenko is making goblins for however large his power is. And then finally, good stuff in the deck. Some really specific callouts here that kind of synergize with the strategy that we're doing. Saheeli's Directive is so broken in this deck because every single equipment gets to tap and pay for 1, and then you're revealing the top X cards, and you get to put all of the artifacts that are X or less onto the battlefield. So very similar to the Gilgamesh card on the previous slide. Reckless Handling's here to get you that Darksteel plate. We've got Burning Prophet, so every time you're casting one of these cheap equipment spells, you're going to get to scry and control your next draws. We've got Kazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs, as a red propaganda. And then Mr. Gutsy on the slide is a call out here because whenever you're casting an equipment, he's getting bigger. And then when he dies, you get to create X junk tokens where those are going to basically be able to be sacrificed to get you additional draw. And with that, our show has come to an end. Thank you so much for watching our video. And if you enjoyed that video, feel free to share it out with any friends who might find value in it as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. We hope to see you again soon. Have a good one.